The problem is how Eric DeCosta is selling it after pulling out of the trade.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast, the global authority on coaching leadership, where coaching wisdom meets real talk. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and on today's Top Shelf Tuesday edition, got a special guest hanging out with us as we talk about chaos in the NFL, cashing in and calling foul on some things in segment one. Segment two, we're going to talk about quarterbacks getting second chances. And in segment three, a little bit of union stuff going on, and perfect person to have with us talking about union stuff. Our basketball correspondent, Danny Thompson, football fan extraordinaire, is hanging out with us. And Danny, Baltimore, got to start off with them. So after a blockbuster trade, collapsed last week, reportedly due to a failed physical, air quotes. The Ravens moved on and picked up Trey Hendrickson from their rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals. 4 years, $112 million, with $60 million fully guaranteed. Did the Ravens do business the right way, sir? What do you think?
Well, it's funny we started the conversation with the team that is one of the team that I support, and that's one of my favorite teams. I think the way they went about this is, how can I put this? The Ravens had to pivot. I'm not knocking the pivot. I think Trey Hendrickson is an excellent, second option. It's not, and the thing with the Maxx Crosby deal, it's not that they backed out because of physical. Because to me personally, I think you knew what the injury was already. I don't know what the physical said. I wish I did, but I don't. The problem is how Eric DeCosta is selling it after pulling out of the trade. And I think with him doing what he did, he's leaving a lot of sour taste in a lot of front offices' mouths around the league right now. Because him coming out and saying what he said, I don't remember the quote verbatim. It's not a good look. Now, as far as the Ravens going by making the trade, I was all for the trade. I was like, that's a good deal. They need edge rushers up front. They need to find a way to get to the quarterback. Unfortunately, we all knew what Maxx Crosby's injury was. We knew what the deal was. He waited to get the surgery. And the Ravens decided to give out 2 first-round picks this year and next year's first-round picks. I don't think that was a sound decision to make as far as Baltimore goes. It's just when you pivot and you go to Trey Hendrickson, because they were talking, they were going to try to get both. But there was no way that's going to happen. Not with the money that Trey Hendrickson was asking for. It just wasn't going to happen. So I think there's something going on. I don't know what. But I think this is something that right now the Ravens are not going to be saying that a lot of NFL teams are going to want to deal with if they're going to pull stuff like this.
Buyer beware. And the deal was announced prior to the league year starting. So it's not a deal until it's a deal. You're going to do business with the Ravens if you got a player that you need or that they need. They got over on you, and don't hate the player, hate the game. And speaking of hating, $5 billion have been spent, and nobody can tell you who they spent this money on. So this was like the first time non-quarterbacks are like getting ridiculous amounts of money. See, Malik Willis currently holds the richest deal of this cycle, and he got 3 years, $67.5 million from the Dolphins. You also had centers getting money. Tyler Linderbaum from the Raiders became the first center to cross the $18 million annual threshold, signing a 3-year, $81 million deal. His $27 million average now ranks him in the top 5 of all offensive linemen, and that's usually a tackle. The Commanders spent money. So out of all of the other folks, was there a deal or two that caught your interest, Danny?
The first one that caught my interest was Daniel Jones getting re-signed to go stay in Indianapolis. I mean, I get it. You need a starting quarterback, and they've already, given up on Anthony Richardson. So I get doing what they need to do. I get them signing Danny Dimes to, I think it was a 2-year, $88 million contract, I believe, with incentives that have pushed it over the $100 million mark. That one caught my eye. And the one that was the most obvious one to me was Kyler Murray going to Minnesota. I said it from Jump Street. If there was anybody that was going to pick him up, it was going to be Minnesota, because I think they are going to put JJ McCarthy back on the sideline so he can learn a little bit more. But if I had to pick a sleeper one, it's Dallas going in to go get the pass rush from Green Bay. They needed help up front this season. That was one thing Dallas could not do well enough, and that was get after the quarterback. And going to get him, even though he's not what he was, I think that's an improvement. So I think that's something that those are the three that caught my eye.
All right, and a great segue. So, fans, in segment 2, we're going to talk about the two southpaw quarterbacks that found a new place to stay. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
Today's student athletes face pro-level challenges without pro-level support. The CKA SAVE project is here to change that. For 16 plus years, Dr. Keith Adams and his team have provided comprehensive academic and athletic support from middle school through post-graduation transitions. NIL guidance, transfer portal navigation, academic coaching, career planning, they've got it covered. The CKA SAVE project. When your future is on the line, experience matters. Learn more at www.ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. I think I can say southpaw now. So we've got in Atlanta 2 left-handed quarterbacks going at it. So Tua has signed with the Atlanta Falcons on a 1-year, $1.3 million deal to compete with Michael Penix Jr. So Tua is on the cheap. Penix is recovering from a November ACL injury, so Tua is going to get that job. I don't think Penix is going to recover that fast. This is not Jason Tatum and a Achilles injury. And you've got Minnesota signing Kyler Murray to a 1-year deal, paying $1.3 million. Arizona covers the other $35.5 million. So, Danny, what do you think? Which guy has the best chance to be the long-term solution for their team?
Neither. I mean, that's just where I stand. Kyler Murray is not the Kyler Murray that he was when he first got to Arizona. When we're talking Kyler Murray from a couple years ago, hands down, it's him. He was it for Arizona. We're talking about a guy who was a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. Now, to answer the question, like seriously, it's Kyler Murray, because with Tua still, to me, still has to prove that he can still be a starting quarterback in the NFL, especially with Michael Penix Jr. with being much younger and him having a much more better fit for that offense. I think Tua has a lot to prove. But Kyler just needs to be, to me, in a better system. And the only thing with Kyler has to grow up, because I've seen a lot of reports where some of his teammates came out and said, yo, maturity-wise, you need to grow up, because you're leading a bunch of men out here. We need you to step up. So I think him going to Minnesota, I think, will be in the right direction for him. I don't think it's going to do what it did for Sam Darnold, but I think it's a good direction for him, because it gives him a chance to start over and reinvent himself. So I think in all intents and purposes, all seriousness, not just saying neither of them, but Kyler Murray, to me, has the better opportunity to be the long-term solution for this reason, and two, what hurts Tua can't stay healthy. Tua's been more unhealthy than Kyler. Kyler's been unhealthy just for the past, I think, 2 years. Tua's been in and out of the lineup for like the past 5. So I think if I had to go long term, it's Kyler Murray. It's him. Once he gets his maturity right, and he is in this very good system. I like Kevin O'Connell's system in Minnesota. He fits it very well. I think Kyler Murray would be the long-term solution more than Tua would.
I'm going to be contrarian. Atlanta's an SEC country. They play in a dome. So 8 games, there's a controlled climate. They play in the NFC South. You got Tampa Bay. It's not cold weather city. You got Carolina. Good. And I missed somebody, New Orleans. So where Tua had trouble in the AFC East, he playing in SEC country. So I got to think Tua, because there's no team in the South that anybody cares about. And Kyler's going against Detroit. The monsters on defense. Going against the Bears. Yeah, I don't want to mess with them. And going against Green Bay. That Parsons kid's going to find him early and find him often. So I got to think Tua's got a better shot at sticking around long term. And that's why. But we also got a couple of quarterbacks that are still out there. My favorite quarterback of all time, Kirk Cousins, because he just beat the system. He's still out there. So somebody may pick him up. And I am growing fond of Anthony Richardson because he never quit on me. And that might be the new T-shirt. I got my main man, Dr. Mason, at Tape sending me messages that Green Bay may be interested in having him a backup, replacing Malik Willis. I don't know. But is there any other guy who's still kind of hanging out there that you've got an eye on, sir?
For me, it's probably Kirk Cousins is the one I'm going to be paying attention to the most. There's talk that he might go to Pittsburgh because they don't know if they're going to bring back Aaron Rodgers.
Tough kid, drives an old car. That sounds like Pittsburgh.
Right, he fits the mold. So I think, like he's the one who I'm going to be watching for majority of the time until someone picks him up, because when he's healthy, he's it. He's as tough as nails. He gets the job done. He's able to stay in the pocket and read defenses to make the right throws. I think Atlanta was just a bad for him because he was going to a very, very bad team. When we saw him in Minnesota, he was doing it. He was doing his thing. I just think right now that's the only one who I'm going to be looking for, because someone who is in need of a quarterback is going to go get him. I'm looking at Pittsburgh. I'm looking at Arizona now that Kyler Murray's gone. I'm possibly the Giants. I mean, hell, John Harbaugh's gone and decided everybody from the Ravens. You might as well go get the guy that played for the Commanders for all those years. So if there's any quarterback or any free agency move that I'm paying attention to for the rest of the time, it's going to see where Kirk Cousins goes from here on out.
All right. So fans, when we get back in segment 3, we're going to talk about the NFLPA and who they should pick. And Danny has followed WNBA union negotiations. Let's pass on the NFL to him. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here. And for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy, designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CKA Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 3, State of the Union, NFL Union, that is, the race for the NFLPA's future. Do you want stability? Do you want strategy? Or do you want a fresh start? So we've got 3 candidates, Danny. We got David White, who's the steady hand. He is the current interim NFLPA lead. He's a former SAG and AFTRA leader. That is the Screen Actors Guild. He brings heavy-duty labor experience and a union guy pedigree, but he lacks deep football knowledge and a deep football background, and he has already signaled a harder line against the 18-game season that the league wants. You also have J.C. Tretter. He's the strategist. He's the former NFLPA president and the player's choice, which already gives me pause. He is deeply familiar with the current board, but must answer for his 2025 resignation and his role in the process that led to the Lloyd Howe controversy. And you have Tim Pernetti, who is the outsider, the American Conference commissioner. He represents a clean break from the union's internal turmoil, but he doesn't have any prior label experience, and the NFL will go after you if you don't have experience. So based off this, Danny, who would you select to be the head of the NFLPA?
I heard a statement once a long time ago. It was on a wrestling episode. It was a segment where they were trying to get one guy to go to one side and then go to the other one. And I'll never forget it when he said, if anything else, it's the devil you know against the devils you don't. I'm probably going to go with Jason Tretter. I can find a way to look over his resignation, even though he has to give some full-fledged explanation as to why he resigned. And then that led to where it is now with the Lloyd Howe controversy going on the PA side. But he has too much knowledge of what goes on in NFL labor meetings. Yes, you have to hold your breath because he is the option that the players want. We all get that. He has a much better understanding of labor negotiation as far as the NFL goes, more than the other two. With Tim Pernetti, there's a reason college coaches don't work well in the NFL.
But he is a college commissioner in the new era, and the American Conference is relevant in part because of how he did business.
And you are absolutely right.
They're relevant. The American Conference stole some of that college football playoff money. Didn't they have 2 teams in the playoff?
They had 2 teams in the playoff. You're absolutely right. He's made the American Conference relevant. I give you that. But now you're stepping into the ring where you have to deal with the NFL money.
Yeah, the big bad booty daddy. Yes, indeed.
Right. And I think he fits more of what the owners want, because they can take him and mold him into giving them what they're looking for. The other two, they're more along the lines of what the union people are thinking of what they want. The only thing that hurts David White is he has no NFL. He has no.
But Demar Smith had no knowledge of the NFL, but he had knowledge of negotiation. And for me, anybody who was a part of the old thing where I don't want, I'm going to try to say this the right way. I am not a player's coach, but players respect playing for me because they know who's in charge. I will give you selected choice, but at the end of the day, really wasn't that much choice. You're going to do this or this. So it takes a while for you to get to the level 3 with me. Now, once you're there, that takes years of experience. And when I talk about level 3 fans, CKA Save Project, Dr. Keith Adams looks at leadership as 4 levels. Level 1 is I'm telling you what to do. Level 2 is selected choice. Level 3 is we're comfortable with saying things like, so tell me what you saw. All right, based off what we did, we'll run that. And level 4 is total freedom, where that you rarely get to that in the organization. So David White or Tim Pernetti are the 2 choices I'd make. I don't like backwoods dealings and whatever happened with the NFLPA. I don't want to deal with that anymore. But I want the 18 games, and players want the 18 games. They just want to get paid for it. So how can we get to that? But anyway, good luck to them, because you're going to need somebody who's going to roll the sleeves up for you. But I also want to close out with the NFL's Thanksgiving takeover, and Danny is the perfect person to have this conversation with. So the NFL is believing in this thing called 7 of 9 strategy. The NFL is exploring a Thanksgiving Eve game. Thanksgiving Eve is when Survivor Series first started. This would create a nearly continuous run of football with games scheduled for 7 out of 9 days, starting the Sunday before Thanksgiving and rolling through. It is very rare that the NFL has games on Wednesday, with only 4 occurring in the past 75 years. One was 2012 opener, one was COVID, and the other one was the Christmas doubleheader. NBA is not happy with that. But because you got federal laws that prevent you from playing on Saturdays in November because of college, NFL can't go Saturday to Wednesday. Danny, you're family man. And how's that going to roll out in the Thompson household if the NFL is on 7 out of 9 days in a row?
I mean, look, I probably won't watch the Wednesday game because I'm so focused on Thursday. Thursday is the day where I'm like, yo, leave me alone. Give me a plate. Just turn on the TV and let me watch the Thursday games. And then I usually wait till around maybe the primetime games on Sunday. You know, maybe the 4:15 game and the late game. But I don't care for a Wednesday game. I really don't. Because honestly, around Wednesday, I'm still focusing on some of these college basketball games that started around that time.
And if that's the NFL, buddy. If the NFL is on, somebody's watching.
Oh, yeah. You're right. They're going to watch. This guy will wait till Thursday. I don't care for a Wednesday game. I really don't. I'm not going to watch it.
All right. So, fans, as we close, it is the most wonderful time of the year. The NCAA tournament is here, and the CKA Save Project and the Odd Coaches Podcast are teaming up to celebrate the best time of the basketball year. So, if you are in the DMV on Saturday, March 28th, we are having an in-person watch party of the NCAA Men's Elite 8 and the Women's Sweet 16 at the Green Turtle in Burtonsville, Maryland. We'll be there from 5 to 9. We're asking for a $50 donation. We'll have light refreshments there, but beverages are on your own. And the impact is supporting the CKA VIP virtual internship program, the Odd Coaches Podcast, our CKA organizational research, our Find the Balance grant, and our Balanced Student Athlete Award. So check us out on social media for that. And we are also having a free, strictly for entertainment purposes only, March Madness bracket for both the men's and the women's tournament. So check us out on social media. Follow us at CKA Save Project and at Odd Coaches Podcast, and come join us. Have some time, swap some lies, and tell some stories. So on behalf of our basketball correspondent, who is a football fan extraordinaire, Danny Thompson, I'm Dr. Keith Adams, saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches Podcast. the authentic voice of coaching leadership, where coaching wisdom meets real talk. Also seen on the Cascade Sports Network, and we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on the X platform at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Keith Adams and the CKA Save Project on social media at CKA Save Project. For more information about the CKA Save Project, visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.